Well, hello there and welcome to Mind Your Business. I'm Jennifer Anderson, host of the show and executive director of the Georgina Chamber of Commerce. Welcome to season 4. We are thrilled to be here on Rogers TV Georgina, promoting information, promoting the businesses that exist in the town, and also promoting information and resources about businesses in the town of Georgina. This is actually our 63rd show. We began the show back in March of 2020, right at the time where the pandemic hit. And we started our first episode with MP Scott Davidson. It was a way for us to talk a little bit about the things that were happening, the unknowns, what we were going through, and the lockdowns. What we didn't realize that it was going to be 2 years of lockdowns, of color changes, of information, and really a necessity for businesses to understand what was happening in the town of Georgina, beyond in York region, and all around the world. So now at 63 episodes, we are in that recovery phase, but we're still providing information for businesses, information and valuable resources about things that are taking place in the town of Georgina. So with 63 episodes, 185 guests over those last 63 episodes, 120 local businesses, organizations that have all been on the show, as well as all levels of government. We're thrilled to be able to head into season 4. And season 4 is no different. We are starting it off with a bang with the YSpace Entrepreneurship Hub. It is a great opportunity for local businesses and entrepreneurs. Lots of programs. We've seen lots of information online about business foundations, but there's so much more that exists with this project, and we're going to find out all about it. I have 3 guests on the show today. They are all experts who are able to talk about this project. I'm going to introduce them to you now. We're going to start with Stephanie Simpson. She is the Business Entrepreneurship Coordinator with the Economic Development and Tourism Division of the town of Georgina. Hi, Stephanie.
Good morning, Jennifer. Thank you for having us today. I'm thrilled to be here on the first episode of the new season. So exciting, but thanks for having us this morning.
It is exciting. It is exciting to be able to talk about the programs that you have to offer. So I'm thrilled to be able to talk to you, as well as with Brittany Stevenson Byers. She is the Economic Development Assistant at the town of East Gwillimbury. Hi, Brittany.
Hi, how are you? And thank you for having me.
Thank you for being here. I look forward to chatting with you about the partnership that exists between East Gwillimbury and Georgina. And last but not least, we have David Kwok. He is the Associate Director of Entrepreneurship for York University. Hi, David. Thanks for joining us on the show.
Hi, Jennifer. Thank you so much for having me on the show.
Well, and we have had you on the show before. We talked a little bit about YSpace in, I believe, season 2, as there was a different project that was underway, but I'm thrilled to be able to talk to you today about what's happening with this project. I'm going to start with you. First of all, for anybody who doesn't know, what is York University's YSpace?
Yeah, so YSpace is York University's pan-entrepreneurship hub, where we focus on supporting entrepreneurs, not only within our faculties, our students, our alumni, as well as within the community. And we do that through our suite of 13 different programs, where it ranges from just helping them understand what's in the ecosystem of entrepreneurship and what they have to access as a whole, as well as business advice. So working with them one-on-one to set business goals, helping them hit those business goals and to strive towards gaining customers, gaining investments, or even just understanding how they should position their business for the future. So we have a pretty wide suite of programming that revolves around all those different aspects.
And you mentioned former students and businesses in the community, and I hope I'm not putting words in your mouth, but I assume that as a former student, these are the resources that exist moving forward, because you don't just receive a degree or a diploma or, and head off into the world. This really is a help to those students as they venture off into their careers.
Yeah, it's for students, it's for alum, it's really for everyone. So our philosophy is we believe that everyone in the community, whether it's students, alumni, former students, always are looking at different opportunities, whether they want to start a side hustle, they have a passion project on the side, or there's something they've been thinking about forever that's been keeping them up, that they're like, oh, I need someone to just help me, or just validate my thoughts, just help me talk through my thoughts. that's really where we think our programming can step in and just really talk them through, okay, this is what you're thinking, this is where the market is, this is how we can help you get there, here's some resources that's perfect for where you're at right now, and this is how we're going to get you to that destination. And sometimes, it might be too much for them. Sometimes they're like, this is perfect, this is what I need. We're just really here to really hear them out and have that conversation with them, so they feel like, one, they're being heard, and two, they're being supported.
And certainly with 13 different suites, there is a blanket of opportunity for what meets the needs of each individual.
Yeah, exactly. And I think the one thing that's unique about what we've created, especially working with the town of Georgina and town of East Gwillimbury, is we're not only focused on technology companies, where a lot of typical kind of incubator accelerators, we've only done tech. For us, we have a suite of food and beverage support. We have Ella, which is our women entrepreneurship program that's focused on product and services. So because of the different suites that we have, we're able to adapt our learnings and our programs to work with the town and see, okay, what's the businesses locally? Let's not bring what we have, but let's see what's there. And then how do we support those businesses that are there already and customize our programs towards them?
So perfect segue, because I'm obviously going to ask about the project that exists between Georgina and East Gwillimbury, but and I am a little partial to this area, so more interested in what's certainly involved for businesses in these communities. But how did this project get started?
Yeah, so this project really got started because we had done an existing program the previous year. So Jennifer, as you mentioned in season 2, when we came on, we had talked about Business Bounce Back, which was the first program we did. And that was a program where we partnered with the town of Georgina and the town of East Gwillimbury to see how we can help local businesses, brick and mortars and professional services recoup from and kind of recover from the pandemic. And through that, we were able to support 75 different local businesses. And that really built a case study for us to say, hey, there's a lot of businesses that are looking for support. Not only do they want this, but they want more. Because we had our businesses in a Facebook group coming back and saying, hey, what's next? What can I get after this? And how can you keep supporting us? So I think that led to us having a deeper conversation of, okay, like we've already given them a taste of what the support system could look like. Can we expand on that? And what can we do? And that naturally led to this, let's build this hub and suite of programming and services that we can provide. And let's start customizing a little bit more and think through, how we can help these businesses. Do they need more coaching around marketing? Is it sales? Is it business plan writing? And how does that look? And that's really where this all started. And the physical space that we have in the town of Georgina right now was a result of that too, where we had a lot of our members say, we would love for a space where we can come together, work together, brainstorm, see what the options are. So that really lets us being, well, maybe we should think about a physical space. And luckily we were able to get a beautiful physical space. That's where Stephanie is now. And you can see it's really become a hub where we're starting to get foot in the door. We're starting to get people coming in. The last time I visited, there was a couple of people in the area that were just walking their dogs. I would just come to them and say, hey, what is this? This looks cool. Why is your care? What's going on? And that curiosity, I think, is just starting to generate a buzz, which we're super excited about.
Yeah, and there's that opportunity of you've already taken a look and seen, based on the Bounce Back program, that there's a need in this community. The need keeps evolving and changing, and so too, I assume, does the program.
Yeah, exactly, and that's where our first 2 program sets, which Stephanie will talk a little bit more about, are more focused on, let's just talk to the community. Because our first program, Business Bounce Back, we kind of knew there was going to be this recovery period coming out of COVID that was needed. But for this program, we weren't sure where the businesses were or what they wanted next. So we didn't want to just create something and say, hey, come join us. We're like, let's take the approach of, let's talk to them first. So we're doing a lot of consults in the community. We did an open call out for folks who wanted to be mentors so we can pick their brains about what's happening in the community. And we had about over 20 to 30 different folks who reached out and said, hey, I'd be interested in being a mentor. So that the feedback has been really good. And we recently did our Business Foundations program, which that drew a massive amount of folks for us, about 30 to 40 a night, for us to really start understanding, okay, these are topics that folks are looking for. And now that's allowing us to start curate our next set of programming. So we're getting deep into that. And we think the next set of program is going to fit exactly what we've heard from the community and telling us where they want to be next and how they want to be supported. So we're really excited about that. But for us, we want to continuously listen to the community and just see what they need and then adapt ourselves as we listen, as we hear what the findings are from that.
Amazing. What is YSpace's involvement with the program? Is it, are you splitting? Are you doing certain things and focusing in certain areas?
Yeah, so with YSpace at York University, we're primarily focused on the programming. Through our suite of 13 programs, we have frameworks and concepts and infrastructure that we felt that we know works and it's proven, and we've done it for the last 5 years. So our hope is that we can come in and work with Stephanie, work with Brittany to use those frameworks and build capacity within the communities. So Stephanie has now run the different programs, and we want to eventually get to the point where this partnership continues, but they have the ability to continuously deliver these programs and build within their own team, customize it the way they need to. So our job is really coming with our programming expertise to set up the framework, set up the initial infrastructure, but then work with Stephanie and Brittany to understand the local needs, the local experiences, and then adapt that to them so that it's more customized to their liking. So that blend is kind of what we're looking to do. And then, of course, on our end as well, is just giving that opportunity to really have an opportunity to reach out to some of our subject matter experts, some of our existing mentorship base that we have, so that they can come into the community and support as well.
So you've already mentioned why it's so important for the local businesses and the needs and fulfilling the needs of local businesses. But why is this project so important to YSpace and being this far, I say this far north, but Northern York region, why is it so important for YSpace and York University to be here? Yeah,
I think for us, for YSpace, for York University, we've always prided ourselves as being one of the only incubator accelerator programs that's attached to a university within York Region. And it was great to be in York Region, being in Markham where we were, but we also heard a lot from the community, and we heard a lot from the region as well, that there's the Northern Six, there's Georgina, there's East Gwillimbury. And funny enough, during the pandemic, I had a couple of friends move up to East Gwillimbury, so I got to visit. So I'm like, okay, like there's businesses here, there's folks that are living here that need support as well. So for us, when we started looking at it, we said, entrepreneurship is everywhere and anywhere, and we need to start listening and going to where people are and where people want the support. We can't be within our own little bubble, and I think the pandemic really pushed us to do that, right? So we didn't, without the restrictions of geography, we're able to deliver programs virtually. And I think that as soon as that happened, we're like, well, why are we only sticking to Markham or Kiel or wherever we are? Why don't we start looking at opportunities? And we're fortunate enough during the pandemic where Stephanie and Brittany and the town of Georgina and East Gwillimbury came to us and said, hey, we have this opportunity, let's explore it together. And I think right now where we're really focused on is how do we start delivering more of these projects to communities that doesn't have something like this yet? Because we want to, personally for us as well, it's growing our brand, but secondly, it's impact. We always say we want to create programs that have impact. We don't want to go in, do a show and then kind of leave. We want to create impact. We want to talk to the local entrepreneurs. We want to be able to work with them, hear their stories. And the impact that we're seeing locally in the two towns has been amazing. Just being able to see, the way they've pivoted, the way they've worked. There's stories of, this is the mentor I worked with and it was great and here's why. Like things like that is what draws us to the community. So that's where I think it's really important for the university and YSpace to start growing our footprint outside of the Southern Three, if I can say, and into the Northern Six with the support that we have, and really start understanding how we can support more businesses outside of the bubble that we're in and start growing into other communities like the town of Georgina and East Gwillimbury.
Well, David, we're thrilled that you are here. So thank you so much. And thank you for being on the show today. I'm going to bring Brittany into the conversation now. I want to find out a little bit about the involvement that EG has, and obviously with the Bounce Back program and the success of that program, I'm going to assume that it only made sense to continue a program like this for East Gwillimbury businesses.
Absolutely. East Gwillimbury is always looking for new opportunities to support the business community, and partnering with other municipalities and the education sector is one way of doing this. As David mentioned, the collaboration emerged from joint business recovery efforts in the response to the pandemic. So those Northern Six business, COVID recovery calls. We saw an opportunity to work jointly on some funding applications to provide additional resources and programming for our businesses. And again, as David mentioned, entrepreneurship is everywhere. And when we did the target industry analysis back in 2020, it identified that there was a strong network of micro businesses right here in East Gwillimbury. So the programming just makes sense. The programming will allow these micro businesses to network with other businesses, tap into the programming and eventually help them grow and hopefully to hire more employees. The partnership also expanded to include York University's YSpace as a key facilitator for the training. And of course, our respective municipal councils were in full support of the partnership, and this allowed us to have a far greater impact than we would have just working as individuals.
There's certainly a buzzword around collaboration and the importance of collaborating and how effective it is in helping businesses and having those businesses succeed. Why do you think that it's so important for programs like this to be in Northern York region? And I know that you just mentioned a little bit about tracking the success and seeing the success, but are you hearing those success stories from local businesses as well?
Yeah, absolutely. So the project gives, businesses the resources and tools to help them be successful. Bringing the program into Northern York region also helps establish that ecosystem for individuals who want to start a business in York region. As I kind of mentioned previously, it also supports the job creation in Northern York region as businesses grow and expand their businesses. I like to always share a little story. Just recently I had an inquiry that had come through to myself, and they were asking some questions about, municipal permitting processes, but it was an opportunity to also offer and recommend the programming through YSpace. And then quickly they signed up for the business foundations, and they have been collaborating and using the space in Sutton. So it's really gratifying to be part of the journey and just helping and just watching them grow so quickly.
Well, and that was my next question. What is your role? Because I know you are with economic development in the town of East Gwillimbury, but what's your role with the project?
For this project specifically, I am a project coordinator. So I help market the program to East Gwillimbury residents and businesses. And I also help, give advice and feedback on the program design and provide input on how it's delivered. Speaking of delivery, we're also looking to deliver programming in parts of East Gwillimbury. So my role will be to help coordinate those logistics.
Very good. And one last question for you. I was going to ask why you would recommend the program, but I know with your story, it's just, it seems like a great segue. As you have businesses inquiring, as you have them calling in, it only makes sense that this becomes a resource for you to recommend.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it really is fulfilling a need in our community. Participants can benefit from the insight of experienced businesses in the community as well as mentors. They have a network of support, guidance from the mentors in their home community, and resources available through York University. It also helps those who want to grow within their business. One of the benefits of having the support from council and the funding is that we are able to run the programming at no cost to the business. So the only investment is their time, and running a business requires a lot of different skills, and I think we're able to facilitate programming that meets the need of our community.
Amazing. Brittany, thank you so much for joining us on the show.
Thank you so much.
Stephanie, you are the Business Entrepreneurship Coordinator. Let's talk to you a little bit about what your role is and what that title means for this Entrepreneurship Hub.
Definitely. So I think this role, what it means is kind of being the center point to all these connections. So working with David on the programming and creating what is the content we're providing, the programs, and what does that look and feel like, working with Brittany and East Gwillimbury, figuring out how do we support that community as well as being in the physical space. So in the physical YSpace Georgina building, I'm here and people are coming in looking for in-person consultations, as well as asking questions about the building, checking it out. So I kind of see myself as the community connection, as well as being able to allow the program to be facilitated through virtual workshops, the marketing, the social media, and kind of connecting through the communities.
Now, I know David and Brittany both mentioned business foundations, and that's something that we have seen on social media, a lot of advertisements and a lot of great information coming out of these programs. What is Business Foundations?
So Business Foundations is our first program that we have run through the summer. So we just concluded. It was a 9-week entrepreneurship workshop series. So we met every Tuesday night from 6 to 8 p.m. We had a different workshop host that was local to either East Gwillimbury or Georgina, and an industry expert in their own business. So we talked about social media marketing, grants and funding, business finances, basically anything that if you have a business idea or a current business that you're working on, there was something for you. And we saw a lot of repeat participants. We also had some that were kind of pick and choosing based on what they were working on. So they were able to learn through this educational workshop, but they also were able to ask questions and follow up if they wanted to have a journey with this workshop host. So it was really cool that way. We had over 200 participants through the 9 weeks, which was really cool. Like David said, we had on average 30 to 40, but we had one workshop with 59 participants. So it was a fun and exciting time. Yeah. And we've grown a community, which is really amazing, but this is just the start.
Well, and that's what I was going to ask, because based on the success and based on the conversations that we're having, if there's a need, those foundations and those seminars will continue in the future as part of the project.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And kind of touching on what David said, Business Foundations was a good way for us to connect with the community and check the pulse on what do these two communities need, what kind of topics and programming would support where we are right now. So that was really important to this program.
Idea consultations are also something that you had mentioned when you started to talk about your role, and that's something that is ongoing throughout the project.
Yes, so that is a program we have all the time. That's an opportunity where if you have a business idea or you have a business and you're at a point where you just want to talk to someone, it's a free consultation. We do them over Zoom, but I have done some in person in this space as well. But you could ask a question or share where you are and be provided with support resources. And this is a relationship that can continue on. So we've used the term on demand, where you can go for your first consultation, take the resources and support, apply it, and come back and follow up, and we'll do a second and continue that relationship. So that has been really fun for us too, because doing it has allowed us to connect in a different way than we have in our workshops.
Right. And we are far from done in terms of the opportunities that exist and will unfold. There are other longer programs that you are ready to launch in the fall and beyond.
Mm-hmm. So right now we are preparing to launch the Business Plan Bootcamp. So this will be up on the social medias for Town of Georgina and East Gwillimbury and YSpace at the end of this week, where there'll be an application that business owners, and even if you have a business idea and you would like to apply, you fill out the application, and it's going to be an 8-week workshop series, similar in the way that you're going to have the educational weekly topics that will help you draft your business plan, but it's going to be on demand this time, so that way, I know fall can be busy too for everyone, but you can kind of watch it on your own time, but you're going to have the in-person support through mentorship and peer-to-peer sessions. So these will be in the space, so at YSpace Georgina and also East Gwillimbury, and that way you can come in person and start that in-person connection.
Great segue, because you are, now we can only see this much of your space.
Yeah.
But bright, you can see the window, the bright airiness of the space. Tell me a little bit about your work environment.
Sure. So the actual hub that we have in Georgina, it's a spot where you can come and work, you can network, you can meet your business partner here, come work with a friend with an idea, be able to use the tools and resources. One of the things that we have is Wi-Fi. We know in Georgina and East Gwillimbury, there's not always that stable internet connection that everyone has. It's a little bit harder. I know things are coming through in the next couple of years, but it gives you that opportunity to get out of your house if you're working from home, or be in a quiet space, rent out the room to have a meeting room, use some of the tools and resources, or be able to talk to someone about your business. So it's very nice in here. It's been like a big change getting this space ready, but we've had quite a few participants from business foundations, as well as David had mentioned, lots of walk-ins coming to check out the space. And we've had participants come in and work, like Brittany had mentioned. They're coming in, meeting together as business partners or working as friends, and being able to get out of their home or their business.
Well, and it's no surprise. I mean, we're on Zoom right now, right? So these platforms have been amazing over the last couple of years to be able to connect and, the distance, still be able to offer the programs at a distance. But how nice is it as, people are venturing out again to be able to welcome those kind of walk-ins? You must be thrilled as people walk in and go, what is this?
Oh my gosh, yes.
Let me tell you.
Yeah, and a lot of times people are walking in and they're saying, I have an idea and this is my idea. And it is a great opportunity to share the resources and programs we have. For example, our wait list for the next program that's coming out this week is huge, because we've had so many people inquiring about the program. So the two communities have been so supportive of this new program, and it's a perfect fit.
Very good. I have about a minute left, so I just want to squeeze in. We've been posting information at the bottom of the screen for folks throughout the episode, websites that all kind of lead to programming and information. You do have a mentorship program that's listed on the Georgina site. So in about 20 seconds, can you just tell me what that is?
Sure. So we're always looking for mentors and workshop facilitators. If you're interested, you could send an email to yspace@yorku.ca, just letting us know you're interested, and we'll be able to send you over some information.
Oh, you did that perfectly. That was a big feat for 20 seconds, and you nailed it. And thank you, Stephanie, for being here today, being on the show. Thank you to Brittany, David, and Stephanie for providing so much information about the YSpace Entrepreneurship Hub. We're thrilled to have them on our first show of season 4. And of course, for more information about YSpace, you can check out the websites that were listed throughout the episode. For more information about Mind Your Business, you can head to the Georgina Chamber website or to rogerstv.com for information about showtimes and about previous shows and episodes and information from the past. On behalf of everyone at the Chamber and at Rogers TV, thanks so much for watching. We'll see you next time on Mind Your Business.